Well, good morning, good afternoon, and of course, good evening, traders from across the globe. Thank you for tuning into this live session. I thought I would stream this to you today because we've got, a situation occurring here. The stock market, the S&P, the NASDAQ, starting to come down a lot. There's, a lot of chatter about now we're flipping economy and there's a problem and the top is in. Oscar, this fantastic volatility that we're seeing, does that mean the top is in? I'm getting questions like that. I'm certainly hearing on television that the top is possibly in and we may be into a recession. So I started to do analysis today and I thought I would show this to you. The analysis that I will show you now is to calm you down. You know what I mean? Everybody, I promise, just calm down. If you calm down, you'll realize that the markets are not, it could turn into something greater. But at this point, the markets are absolutely not in a chaotic point. They are not busting down. We're not in a moment like we were in 2008 into 2009. At least not from what I'm seeing technically. So let's go take a look at that. This video live right now coming at you on Thursday. That's 25th of July 2024. We'll consider this my video 2780. So let's take a look. Please remember how risky trading is. No matter what I tell you in this video, that doesn't mean any of it is going to happen. I am simply calling analysis and allowing it to call itself. I'm very good at looking at charts and explaining what they mean, and that's all I'm doing here. That landscape, of course, could change, but let's not worry about that changing until it does, and let's go into this. So, this seems to be a Wall Street setup, if you ask me. I've been around Wall Street for 43 years now, almost, maybe longer. I don't know. I'm somewhere up there. I started in '82, and I think I'm looking at a Wall Street setup. What does that mean? Well, as much as you're hearing about the downside and the top might be in, all that good stuff, this is a big, booming bull market. Look at these trend lines that just define this. I'll put it in a different color so it shows up. This is a big, booming bull market. It literally starts on the bottom left side of your screen and works its way basically to the top right of your screen. That is a bull market. Forget about it being a bear market. Does a bull market have bearish segments? Of course. Look at this one. Bearish segment. Look at this one. Bearish segment. Scary bearish segment. Right? You get your bearish segments. It's going to happen in a bull market. We work our way up, and then we have a bit of a nosedive back down, and we go back up the stairs, and you get another bit of a nosedive. So, okay, we consider that part of a bull market. With that in mind, the Fed is about to meet next week, and then they're going to meet again in September, 2 weeks after that, or 3 weeks after that. The Fed does not have to lower rates at the meeting next week. They merely just have to discuss possibly lowering rates in September, and guess what has happened? That means the markets have had a good old-fashioned Wall Street setup. They've come down to support right before a major news event, which would be if they lower rates, it's like gasoline. It's like rocket fuel in the engine of a car. You know what I mean? It is nitro for a car. So if they lower rates, that will definitely push us up for a little while. You've got support. This is this is a daily chart we're looking at. You've got support right here as well building. And you're testing it right now. If you break through that, you have the grandpa trend line that defines the whole top and bottom of this market. Nice parallel channel. And the Fed's about to meet. Is that a Wall Street setup? Possibly. But there's a little more that we should look at. So let's go here. This is your NASDAQ. Now we've switched from a daily to a weekly bar, and now we're looking at the NASDAQ. That first chart, of course, was the Dow Jones Industrial Average daily bar. Now we're looking at the NASDAQ weekly bar. We call this chart Masterpiece, and I'll show you why in just a moment. All throughout this chart's life, it has saved us many times. The last time was this do-or-die juncture where we were having a serious pullback. And it hits a do-or-die juncture, nice hold. Now, there's an average there as well. Do you see it? Do you see that average? So there's a moving average right here, moving right up this beautiful parallel trend line. So watch this. This is all programmed into algorithms on Wall Street. They just do it, it's tabular form. We look at it visually, it's all the same. It came down to, let's give it a different color because it's the same color as the average. So let's give it, I don't know, we'll find the color that's not the color of the average. Let's make it pink. All right, so you've got a blue average right here, and then you've got this, a beautifully fitting parallel channel. Bottom, top, bottom, nice hold. Where? At that average. Rally to the top, comes right down. Where? The trend line, the average. You see it back there, right? The trend line and the average right when the Fed's going to meet. I don't know about you, but let's look at one more chart. Hold on. Let's just see what else is going on out there. That would be this guy I wanted to show you. Russell 2000, we don't like to admit it, but this has been the current leader of U.S. indices. It is what it is. That's what's going on due to sector rotation out of much larger companies into what we call smaller cap companies. These small cap companies are bigger than any company you and I would ever dream of owning, but they still call them small cap, so that's what we'll call them. All right, so small cap companies have been getting the sector rotation, and it's blasted off, even plowed right through what should have been a double top, top one, top two, paid zero respect to that double top, blew right through it, kept going, and the leader has built a beautiful bull flag. Look at this. So you've got a beautiful bull flag built by the leader, Russell 2000. It's just leading now. It doesn't always lead. Bull flag built. The Fed meets next week. Let's look at this picture. The current leader has a big bull flag. You see it before your eyes. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is about to test support. You saw that, right? I can go back real quick if you'd like to see it, just to show you. The Dow Jones is coming down to test support. NASDAQ is about to test support. And let's go to the last clue we have. The Fed is about to meet. Does that not sound to you like a good old-fashioned Wall Street setup? I think it is. I wanted to show that to you. Now, we've got a little bit of time, right? It doesn't happen right now because the Fed meeting is next week. You've got gyration movement in between here that can take place. You know what I mean? You've got the Dow that can easily, well, you've got the NASDAQ first, that can easily come down here. Then we'll go look at the Dow that can easily come, stay here or drop to there. And all of this right before a Fed meets. Now, the economy is doing fine. Doesn't matter what Panic TV starts to say after 2 days of a market dropping or even a week of a market dropping. I don't know that that means anything because what you're looking at is everything that you'll ever need to know about the fundamentals that make up our markets. Because all the fundamentals are built into the chart, which has no emotions, which doesn't worry about anything at all. It's got no reputation, and if used properly, will tell you what's coming next. These charts told me to tell you it seems like this is a good old-fashioned Wall Street setup, and by the time the Fed meets, all they have to do is jab a jaw about about lowering rates. And once they jab a jaw about lowering rates, you will see the market immediately react. Now, Rich asked, how about the transports? Before we go there, Rich, let me just show you one more piece of this puzzle that I have found I think we need to look at. You are looking at the Bloomberg Commodity Index. This is the index of inflation and or deflation, as I call it when the inflation's going down. It was even higher, but once we started getting into COVID, at the height of inflation, the index was at 140.55. And we had supply issues like crazy. So commodities were expensive, supplies you couldn't get, companies were having trouble, and boom, inflation went through the roof. The inflation indicator. Now, inflation's still high, but the inflation indicator has just plummeted, and a little bit of a pop, put in a head and shoulders, and plummeted again. Traders, if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to this channel and go to my live trading room, Live with Oscar. You can always find me there. But anyway, look at this. It's cooling off dramatically. It's cooling off dramatically, the inflation. After putting in that shoulder, head, shoulder, big drop. So that is another piece of the puzzle to tell you that the Fed's about to meet. The markets all came down to really smart support levels. You know, I mean, no doubt this is a Wall Street setup as far as I'm concerned. So I wanted to make sure that you were able to recognize that for yourselves if you don't recognize it now. Of course, anything could change, right? Nothing has to stay that way. But this is certainly the picture that's being presented right now. So don't get all that nervous. Don't listen to TV right now. The market is doing nothing more than setting back so the street can come in and take advantage of it. Now, someone asked me about the transportation average. I do believe I have a transportation chart sitting somewhere. Yes, I do. So, to not confuse, let me get that out of there because it's not Wednesday. All right. Transportation average did something very interesting. It absolutely respected its double top, maybe triple top, depending upon how you want to look at that, when the Russell did not, as I showed you, it blew right through that. Now, what has happened? The Dow Jones Transportation Average, which generally overall is very abstract and very far away from when the action takes place, but the real leader has always been the transportation average, but it's not always in charge, and right now it's not. So we move it away. Russell's been in charge. Transportation average did this. Went up to what should have been that double to triple top, came back down, but where did it come down to? Wall Street's always paying attention. These guys are so sharp. Came right back down to the same resistance line that became support when it got above it, and had a massive day up after that. It didn't actually hit it perfectly, but you know what? Maybe they were watching. Maybe they didn't want it to hit perfectly, but they're using these geometric angles to get in and out of the market, just like every other analyst out there. They see it. They came in and bought it right there. So you've got some stuff going on in the transportation average that hopefully will continue. That was for you, Rich, on answering that question. So I wanted to get that out and show it to you live as it's happening while the markets are still open. They close at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's only 4:43 at this moment. You can look at these charts for yourselves and take a look at something like this and see if you think that it's scary or not scary. I don't find that very scary yet. We start breaking all of this around here. You get below this, all right, man, it might get a little scary, right? But we're not there. So that's not scary, especially with the Fed meeting next week. I know that this is unlike scary. This is a fund manager's dream type chart. Anybody using this can see what's happening there. It works consistently. Well, that's not so scary. That should take the fright out of you. And if Russell truly is leading right now, which it seems to be, well, you got a nice big bull flag that has lots of room for another bar or two, maybe even three, because the flag could easily expand a little further. But you got lots and lots of room for a couple of bars to go up and down and still be in this flag when the Fed finally meets. So a lot of good stuff here. I don't want you to be worried. This is slightly longer term view, right? This is kind of mixing in that the Fed's going to meet and Wall Street pushed the market down to a specific spot where if the Fed meets and mentions anything about lowering rates, that was the right spot to push it down to. So I wanted to make sure that you've seen that and get ready for what's coming at us. Now, tonight's Thursday. It's Thursday evening coming up. Market's going to close at 5, reopens at 6. Today, this whole week, I have to tell you, OMNI has called phenomenal trades, and Oscar, who drives the OMNI, has not been as phenomenal. My apologies, kids. I have nothing to say about that, but I'll try to do better tonight. You know, today I put us in 2 out of 4 trades I conjured up last night. The 2 I put us in started off losing to the point that we were stopped. And the ones I didn't put us in would have made massive amounts of profits today, including one of them that got stopped, turned around, and would have been profitable, quite profitable. So just bad actions on me today. I don't know, kids. We'll figure this out tonight. The Omni will tell us what to do, and I promise to behave and make it a better trading session on Friday. So please join me at livewithoscar.com. We would love to see you guys there. If you go to livewithoscar.com, you can literally hang out with me in my live trading room. I am always in this live trading room, whether my camera is on or not. I am monitoring the room. I type in the room. My camera is on at the moment because I'm always there. Right? I'm doing this sort of webinar, live streaming, while I've got my trading room open, which all of my traders are in the trading room, and we discuss things there. My camera stays open. So you can join me at livewithoscar.com if you'd like and hang out with us there. Barring that, I wish you well. I hope this is helping you. Let's see if we have something here for you. Yes, we do. I hope this stream helps you. Just stay calm. Don't listen to the news. We're not crashing. If that picture changes, I'll be the first one to come out here and show that to you. For now, we're just coming down to a spot that looks really smart for Wall Street to come back in and play hero. We'll see what happens when we get there. Traders, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you at livewithoscar.com. Please subscribe to this channel. And then remember, keep your emotions out of trading, kids. I tell you this in every single one of my videos. How do you do that? Say this to yourselves over and over again, especially when you're in a losing position. 1, 2, 3. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Thank you so much for tuning in. If I could help you, please join me in my trading room at livewithoscar.com, and I will see you all in my chat room tonight.